This is Mary Helen Dara and Women in the Driver's Seat. Today we're talking to Executive Director and Program Director of Temple Shomer Emunim, and we're going to go inside and speak with Lynn Nusbaum about the rewards and challenges of being in a faith-based career. Welcome to Women in the Driver's Seat. I am with Lynn Nusbaum of Temple Shomer Emunim. Lynn, please tell us a little bit about the history of the temple and how long you've been here.
The first Jews arrived in Toledo in 1837, and the actual Temple Shomer Emunim was founded in 1870 and was dissolved, but then reorganized in 1875, and it was reorganized as a Reform congregation. First place of worship was a small church that we rented from a Christian congregation in downtown Toledo. Eventually, we became the Collingwood Avenue Temple in 1916, and that was obviously on Collingwood Avenue. 50 years ago in May, we then built this beautiful building on Sylvania Avenue in 1973, and today the temple remains a vibrant Reform institution.
Wonderful. And what was the deciding factor to get you in the driver's seat here?
Well, honestly, when I had both my children and they were young, I wanted a part-time job, and I actually started working here part-time. It is now in 1990, so a long time ago. I was much younger then. And eventually, about people left and came, and I then went into a program director role at the temple. And then I had the opportunity 26 years ago to take over the management, become the executive director, and it seemed a good fit to do the programming and the executive director job at the same time because they went hand in hand. So that was 26 years ago, and here I am. I've been at the temple now since 1990.
Wonderful. What are some of the most challenging and also rewarding aspects of what you do?
Well, I think as a congregation, we face two very challenging things that have happened to the city of Toledo, Sylvania, and that is the shrinking Jewish demographics in our city. When I came here, we are the biggest congregation in the area. We were over 700 families. Now we're about 430 families. So the Jewish population is shrinking significantly. And for various reasons, and I think all other businesses and organizations have the same issue, people aren't necessarily moving to Toledo, so we're not able to make up for the families that we lose. And, we do have a significant amount of elderly people in our Jewish community. The other thing is, regarding younger families, we have a very strong interfaith family presence in our congregation. And, kids have a lot of things pulling them in a lot of directions today. And making religion is not always a priority. So getting the younger people engaged and focused and coming here outside of their children's formal religious education is difficult. I think it's something that many different religions are facing today. It's not just Judaism. It happens everywhere. I talk to colleagues in other faith-based congregations, and they're facing the same thing. But, it's hard to entice a kid to come here to go to Hebrew school when they can go play on football or soccer or, sports and dance and everything else that's important to young families, and it's hard to strike a balance. We all understand it. Us older people didn't have as many things that were conflicting and in the way. So I think those are challenges that we not only face, but other religious entities.
All right, wonderful. And, Taylor Automotive Family is all about giving back. We know the temple is very significant in its positive impact to the community. What are some of your personal favorite ways in which you contribute to that?
Social action was really a really strong part of who we were prior to COVID, and we were doing many projects within the community with other faith-based organizations, the Hindu temple, the Muslim temple. We had a really good group doing different things that were positive in the community, as backpacks for kids, meals for the unfortunate, working at the Cherry Street Mission, all those different things. But during COVID, we came up with a program called Mitzvah Meals. And that is every Friday, and it continues till today. We provide curbside pickup of meals that can be ordered for people not only in the entire Jewish community, but we do have people who order from outside the community. And it was a way for us to keep touching our congregation and our congregants even though they weren't in the building and the building was closed down for COVID. We still had a way to stand out. Our clergy would stand out on the curb as our volunteers were loading boxes of food into their cars every Friday, and it was a way for us to touch our members, even though they couldn't come in the building. So that became a very popular program. We do about 200 meals every Friday for different people, and it's kind of like ordering from a restaurant. You get three choices of proteins, a couple side dishes, and so it's really been impactful because, again, we have an older demographic in our congregation that it's not so easy for them, and COVID changed things for everyone, obviously, but it's not so easy for them to go out and go to the grocery store and prepare their meals. And if it's a single person, this can help them through the week. So it was my baby, and it's really the other great part of it. It allowed volunteers in our congregation to be a part of it, and so it was a great way of reaching out.
What's the one piece of advice you could give a woman who is considering a faith-based career?
I think what we find in this line of work is, I tell everybody who works for me and comes into the temple that wants to work in a faith-based organization, it's not a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday. It's a 24-hour job, 365 days a week. So you have to be willing to be flexible. Things can change on a dime, whether it's a funeral that you're not expecting or somebody gets sick. We have to have the ability to be able to reach out to our people at all times and 24 hours a day. So does it bode well for somebody who has, who is very scheduled? Probably not a good job and a good idea for that. But I think it's it's extremely rewarding. You're able to service people at their best times and their worst times, but you have to be able to be flexible. You can't be rigid. And I think that's the biggest thing about working for a religious organization, because the things that are important to a lot of people and when the people really need you are not scheduled times. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually crisis
24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Exactly.
Yes. Well,
exactly.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
My pleasure. It was nice to meet with you, Mary Helen, and I appreciate it. And thank you for the opportunity.